Good afternoon. What a week it's been here in Sheffield at the Betfred World Championship. Talk about eventful. Mark Selby, our defending champion, turned up here last Saturday, won his first round match and went home for Easter. Judd Trump was given the elbow by a man ranked over 50 places below him in the rankings. And Ronnie O'Sullivan's had us talking all week long, even if he originally hadn't intended to say much at all. Oh yes, and in the meantime, the Prime Minister has called a general election. At least she's waiting until the trophy is presented here. But how a voracious snooker audience in China would love one of their own to lift the silverware this season. Ding Junhui got very close last season, and today he is in the mix in round 2 against a fellow Chinese human, Liang Wenbo. It's approaching 10:30, 11 o'clock at night in Beijing. You can bet that the snooker audience is rocketing there right now.
The second session of the all-Chinese battle. Good start for Ding Junhui, 6-2, seems to be doing all scoring.
Absolutely perfect and well played as well, nicely controlled.
Wow, that's a bad mistake. He hasn't settled this evening yet. Liang Wenbo closes to within 2 at 7-5. Oh, that's the miss of the championship for me. Wow, can you believe that?
That is just wonderful. Fabulous pot.
He's been outplayed completely this evening and he's just hanging on in there. But he's played it beautifully. Played it beautifully. Deserved to win the frame from that. Liang Wenbo right back into the match now. He wins the session 5-3, but still trails 9-7.
Yeah, 210 million people tuned in to watch Ding Junhui in last year's final against Mark Selby, and he just failed to get over the line. Now he's back trying to go one better. Now Ding is one of 4 Chinese cuemen who've got through to this second round, and China is guaranteed at least one player in the quarterfinals. But which one? Ding has been Asia's first world champion in waiting for almost half of his life. Now, Liang Wenbo is a great friend, but he'd love to make Ding wait just a little longer. A possible 9 more frames this afternoon will sort it out. Round 1 snooker giant killer Rory McLeod returns, having sensationally dispatched Judd Trump. He's now taking aim at Scotland. Stephen Maguire, the former world number 2 and twice a semi-finalist here, has quietly slipped into the reckoning this year. And we'll be spending our afternoon here on Saturday in the excellent company of 2 former world champions, and these are the matches that we'll be watching. One will start and the other will finish. Ding Junhui against Liang Wenbo, Stephen Maguire starting out against Rory McIlroy. Goodness me, that's a Freudian slip, isn't it? Rory McLeod. And they're up and running from 2:30. And speaking of the excellent company of Messrs Harrott and Davis, we've got day 8 at the Crucible. How are you bearing up, Steve?
It's good, yes, good, yeah. After a bad start, but I'm now, I've got my second win now. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Okay, and you're ready for this big all-China match today?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to do the commentary with Willie on that last night. It was a fantastic session. Yesterday, I had a treat. I had Higgins and Allen in the afternoon, which was brilliant, and that last night was equally as good. The standard was tremendous, and he deserved to come out of that session winning it. He's 9-7 behind Wenbo, but he played very well. The scoring was superb. OK, we're looking forward to that. Now, we've got, about 45 minutes, and there's a lot to reflect on because we've all been on the go for a long time, up early for a morning session, which was to be decisive in what was a prize fight match, really, between Ronnie O'Sullivan and Shaun Murphy. Could Shaun punch his way back into this one?
Wow, what a shot. That's Ronnie extends his lead now. It's 11 frames to 6.
It really was a great shot.
20. He's not going to bother with the blank. Sean badly needed that frame. He's got it, but he still trails by 4 frames. 11-7.
Oh, what a horrendous kick.
For Murphy, 22.
That was vile. He really is an animal on the table. He's in this kind of mood.
Superb break from the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan. He just needs one more frame for a place in the quarter-final. He's tucked up on the cushion and he's rolled that in perfect on the black. Oh, Sean.
Yeah, it looks like that kick that he got in the last frame has sapped any remaining belief that Sean had of winning this match.
There was a little bit of needle in this match, but Sean is the perfect gentleman. But in the end, Ronnie was just a little bit too good. Very solid performance from the 5 times world champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, superbly focused O'Sullivan, striding over the line with hardly a glance behind him this morning, and he brought that same level of focus into the practice room thereafter to discuss his win with Stephen Hendry and me. The chief positives from that performance would be what today?
I don't know, really. Pretty hard to assess your performance. I'm just trying hard. I'm just trying to mentally hold it together. It's a really...
You practicing playing off the cushions?
I took a leaf out of your book, you know, because I just thought, you know, when it gets to nitty-gritty, you know, when I played Steve in I can't remember, 1996, he just got more aggressive and I got more negative and, you know, he didn't make 100 breaks, but he just looked like he wanted, you know, he was ready to run over the line. So I just think, well, when you get to that situation, rather than go tentative, I think the winning attitude is to try and attack the game. Whether you miss, if you miss him, you miss him, but you've got to try and win matches, I think.
Did you think he dodged a bullet a bit yesterday? 10-6 was a good result, wasn't it, when he missed that green?
Yeah, when he missed that green, yeah. But 9-3...
9-7, you still fancy yourself, but...
Yeah, but at 9-3, I was, I don't know, I just kind of relaxed a little bit, missed a couple of balls, a couple of chances, but he played well, you know, 3 frames. You have to expect that at this level that, you know, you're going to play guys like that can win 3, 4, 5 frames on the spin. You just hope you can nick one like I did at the end, you know, just to stop the rot.
We were just talking, actually, before you came in, Ronnie, about, obviously, the controversy. We're not talking about what happened on Sunday and the contents of that press conference, but, you know, having been put off by this feud that you've had with World Snooker over the last few months, how were you able to turn the negatives into positives going into this, and how much motivation did you feel going in against Sean this week?
No, not any more than usually, you know. I was pleased that I just put a statement out to say that, you know, rather not to talk about anything during a tournament, and let's just focus on snooker, because that is the most important thing. You know, there's some great snooker here, some fantastic players, and it is a tournament on its own. So let's just play and enjoy the event.
So you obviously you practiced for this one, because I mean, I said in it just before I didn't fancy you win it. Yeah. Basically, because what I've seen the last few months, you comment on what you see, and you haven't been playing well.
Yeah. Well, I haven't practiced for a year, to be honest with you, because it's...
You look a different animal here.
Yeah, because I put about 6-7 weeks practicing, you know, all through the season. I've just been working, basically. I've been... I think snooker's a little bit like you're a pop star now. If you can make a brilliant album every year, you'll do well. But if you don't produce an album, then you go missing. So I've decided to just play a lot of exhibitions and do a lot of work, and just it's took the pressure off me really. And you know, I don't feel I've got anything to prove. So you know, I can sort of. I thought, you know, I'll give myself 6-7 weeks to practice for this. It might have made a difference, it might not have, but you know, I just kind of just I put a little bit more practice in for this night. Well, I hadn't played for a year, basically, just turned up.
So one of the tracks on that album may have been that match against Gary Wilson. I know we didn't talk a huge amount about it at the weekend, but I just wonder how much admiration you had for Gary.
Listen, I mean, like Ken said it, and I'm glad he said it, because when I come off that table after playing him, I went, that was one of the hardest matches I've ever played. It was like playing Selby. Honestly, he just never gave in. He never looked like he was down. I knew he wasn't going to give in. And, you know, every credit to Gary. And, you know, if he continues to play like that, I know he's already made a final, but he'll definitely win tournaments because he's, you know, a lot of it out there, this place sorts the men out from the boys, and you've got to have the right head for it. And he's certainly got the head for it, so it wouldn't surprise me if he goes deep in big tournaments because this is about doing it under the cosh, really, at this level.
You know, we're sitting here next to an 18-time major winner. You're a 17-time major winner, and you carved out a very significant piece of history for yourself at the Masters with that 7th Masters title. You own that, and I just wonder how much of a taste that it's actually given you again. I mean, I don't know, does that sort of stuff get you up in the mornings to practice, Ron?
Not really, no. Just enjoying life, just enjoying what I do. It'd be great, don't get me wrong, when I won the 7th, I was like, oh, that's nice, you know, but I wasn't sitting there thinking... If you'd have told me 25 years ago the feeling that you get after winning the 7th, would you put all the work in? I'd probably be saying, nah, it's not worth it for that feeling. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not that great a feeling. It's nice to do, but I think the most important thing is the process, and I think the memories and the matches that you've had along the way is what, you know, is what really means, I think, to a player.
Well, you talk about it. 25 years you've been coming here. It's over half your life, actually, when you think
I feel younger now than when I first came here. I look at photos when I was 19, 20, I was bloated, drinking. Now I'm sober, running, healthy, you know. But 25 years younger.
Do you feel more capable of coping with it all now as you're getting older?
Nah, to be honest with you, it gets harder. It does get harder. You just see youth. When you see youth, you start to think, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I know what I was like when I used to get beat. I used to hurt, but I used to think, yeah, it used to motivate me to get stronger. Now, like, you knock them down, you think, oh, that'll keep them down. They just come back stronger, you know, and they're just the same as what I was when I was younger and when Stephen was younger. So you kind of got to be mindful of that. And I was watching over at John Higgins and I thought, he looks, you know, we look like old men compared to some of these guys. No, we do, you know, but we make up for it because we come along in an era where I think snooker was never better. So we're able to sort of maybe give the rest of, well, most of the players maybe 10 years start. But, you know, obviously your Selby's and your Dings and your Murphys and Trumps, they're obviously, you know, I don't mean giving them 10 years start, but, you know, the others, I don't think they're that much, you know, I think we're all pretty close.
In that respect, then, how proud are you that you're still punching, you're still fighting, and you still clearly got a chance of a 6th world title here?
Yeah, no, I'll keep going right to the end, you know, and just see what happens. You know, it's just 17 days out of the year that you just got to go. It's not going to be fun, it's not going to be... Probably the worst part about the job nowadays for me is coming here and having to go through this because it's really tough mentally. You know, I struggle mentally. I must admit that's probably my weakest spot, so I have to work on that, and this finds you out more than any other place.
It's weird, because there's a time when it stops being like enjoying, being like a hobby when you first start. And then you don't, while you're here, you don't actually, I'm enjoying this. You don't think I'm enjoying it,
no.
but you do. You just go through the motion. You get to the end, you win, and then say next, OK? It's like...
And next is Ding or Liang, two good friends of yours, I know. And I don't know how across that match you are. From what you've seen, Ding looks in fantastic stroke, but Liang, real firecracker, always fights back, doesn't he?
Yeah, Liang, yeah, he's an emotional type of player. You know, he's either flying or he's really poor. And I think, you know, the difference between this match is that Ding's obviously a bit more balanced and probably got more out of the sessions. Whereas, you know, Ding got his session 6-2. Ding wasn't going to lose a session 6-2. You know what I mean? That's the difference sometimes between winning and losing.
Ding's probably the better scorer, you think, Ding?
Oh, yeah, Ding's all round just, you know...
He's still above, another level above the other Chinese players for me, Ding.
Yeah, I think, and Wambo's definitely the second because he can play, that kid, mate. Honestly, he makes 8-9 tons on the spinning practice some days. And
really?
Yeah, he's mental. Like, his positional play is so good. He just gets a bit excited sometimes.
He sure does.
If he can manage that, he's difficult, you know.
OK, Bronny, well, you've got a couple of days off because you're back in quarter-final duty on Tuesday morning and then in the evening. So well played today. Very focused, very professional performance.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Good to get a chat with Ronnie there, and some very interesting points. I'm sure you'll agree in that interview. Sean Murphy said in his press conference afterwards, if he plays like that, with that level of focus, I think he can win. What do you think, Stephen John?
I think he's dead right. I mean, there's plenty of people, Stephen said himself, he didn't think he could win coming here, but when you look at the big events he's played, he's been beaten in an epic final in the UK by Mark Selby. Then he played, and obviously he's won his 7th Masters. The big tournaments, he's come out to play, and he's very focused. He has been. Interesting, Steve Peters was here from ball one of this event to start off with. I love that interview today. Very even-keeled, everything ready to go. He looks really focused, going to take a real good one to knock him out. And
a couple of interesting things he said about his practice, and that he hadn't really been putting the work in over the last year, but the last 6 or 7 weeks he's properly knuckled down for a good tilt at this one.
Yeah, well, only Ronnie knows how much he's put in effort-wise, you know, not just in hours, but in mental preparation. And Ronnie O'Sullivan is the type of player, I wouldn't think there's many around, who can actually get themselves ready for a particular event. Most of us, mere mortals, we tried to get ready for every event, but we never knew when it was going to come. But if Ronnie O'Sullivan has been coasting...
I think you did all right.
Well, it's not how it felt. It's not how it felt. But mostly, if Ronnie O'Sullivan has been coasting through events on very little practice and effort, and then decides to put in a concerted amount of practice in the build-up to something, and actually feels that he's playing to a higher level, then even though we keep on saying the rest of the pack's caught up with him and actually he can be outplayed now, we might be wrong. Perhaps Ronnie O'Sullivan, when he does properly put his mind to it, can always outplay the rest. And then there's only a couple of players, your Mark Selby's, your John Higgins, who can withstand the pressure that he can put on a player.
You know, he was very gracious about Gary Wilson in the end. It was great to hear him say these things about Gary. And he seemed very much more at ease with himself. I just wonder, as if the outburst on Sunday has almost got a few things off his chest and cleared his head.
Well, I don't think you can play this game if you've got all things going on, but I'm not a genius like he is, so I don't know what goes on up there. But it's obvious. I wanted everything to be perfect when you're playing, didn't you? You didn't want to have any distractions or anything. You wanted your whole world to be on an even keel when you turned up for events.
I mean, perhaps what's happened is he's had a chat with Steve Peters. I'm only surmising, I haven't got a clue. And Steve Peters just said, the reason why it's best to just go back into being a normal snooker player, doing proper interviews, it's better for your karma around. It's better for your inner well-being to not be any type of aggression around you, not think that the world's on your shoulders, to not think anybody's having a go on you. Try and see the bigger picture, that probably it's better to always be a little bit more under the radar than on top of it.
And yet, Steve, I agree with you, but and yet he comes out in that first session against Sean Murphy, and it was literally just bursting out of his chest, you know, that ambition and the crackling intensity.
Yeah, that's okay on the table. That's the perfect place for it to happen, but not off the table.
Agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I say I'm very impressed with the interview. Good to see him like that. And hey, honestly, the way he played, his first match he played great as well, Barry. He plays Gary Wilson. He played really good to get through that match because he played very well, Gary Wilson. He's here for a job.
Looks like it, yeah. He's into his 18th quarter-final. Now, there was another match this morning, started at 10 o'clock. This was the second session of the match between Mark Allen and John Higgins, and this was certainly worthy of anything that we've seen before, because you may have seen the first session yesterday. The Northern Irishman had already knocked in 3 centuries, an 82, a 71, a 65, with a pot success rate of 96% yesterday. He played like a god, and yet he was still only 2 frames clear of the 4 times world champion John Higgins at 5-3. And this morning it was the Scots' turn to dominate. He took the opening 4 frames with a 1-2-4 on the way, completely turned the match on its head from 2 behind to 2 in front at the mid-session interval, 7-5. But Allen gamely replied with his 4th century of the match, a 1-1-6 to get within 1 at 7-6. Now, this is the 14th frame. Allen had posted a 70 break when we left it earlier on BBC Two, and that's where we're going to pick it back up again in the company of Peter Ebdon and John Virgo.
Well, that red that Mark's just missed would have been frame ball. So maybe a chance here for a counter-attack. Tough red to start with. I didn't expect him to miss that, the way he's been potting the last couple of frames. John Higgins can get past the brown. Dropped it in beautifully. So, chance for the counter-attack. He's got a few points to play with, not a lot. Came to the table 70 points behind, 75 remaining.
Well, John, if there was one player that you had to put your life on making a clearance under pressure to win a frame, it almost certainly would be John Higgins. But he's just lost the cue ball a little bit there. Won't be too happy with that.
There you see, having taken the blue, there's now only 67 remaining, so he's not a lot of points to play with. He wants to be straighter on this red, of course.
7.
The only problem ball you can see is the one that's tight to the top cushion. And if it is tight,
14.
it might not be too big a problem.
Yes, Mark
50.
Allen will be fearing the worst here. Because John Higgins has cleared up to win crucial frames hundreds of times in his career.
$22.
Anybody, please?
23.
Doesn't want to be too straight on this black. He'd like to play for the red that's just below the pink. It definitely goes to the right corner. What sort of an angle has he got? Not much of one. So he may have to play for the red along the top cushion now. If these are tight to the cushion, you don't fancy
30.
him missing it. If it's just off, it's tricky. I don't fancy him missing this. Yeah, it was tight to the cushion, and he's finished absolutely perfect on the black. And because he's taken black off the last few reds, he's had a quick look at the scoreboard. 32 points behind. He
38.
can afford to go red-blue or red-pink, whichever he feels will give him better position on the yellow. Deciding red-pink.
39.
And Mark Allen can see this frame slipping away. So the 6 colours to go back to 2 frames in front. But more importantly,
45.
what a body blow. Mark Allen in first, break of 70. John Higgins has a chance to clear up. So pinch it on the black.
$47.
John
50.
Higgins has done this so many times in his professional career. And he seems to do it when the pressure is at its greatest. And that's one of the hallmarks of an outstanding champion.
54.
And he's been one of the greatest we've ever seen.
He's landed perfect on the blue. He can hold for the pink. And pink and black
59.
to clear up with 72 against the 70 that Mark Allen made previous.
$65.
Superb, superb, clinical, absolutely brilliant. Superb break from Mark Allen, made the 70, just couldn't get that one red he needed. And then he had a long pot, missed it. John Higgins then cleared up, as only John Higgins can do. Mark Allen started the morning session 2 in front, he's 2 behind again.
Wow, what a match. And John Higgins dishing up there from way behind, 70 points behind with that break of 72. And that is classic Higgins trademark, isn't it? In we go to the next then. And the Scot is 6 points adrift here.
But that one was in.
What?
Well, has he been unlucky here? I mean, he may still be able to pot the green, but you'd have thought, well, he'd have thought, sure to be on pink or blue. Not the case. Bit of pressure on this green now.
Yes, this is a perfect example of how smooth you have to hit the ball on these cloths. If you get through too quick, the green goes thick. And he's overcut it. He tried to play it plain ball. And where the green went, he got a touch of unintentional right-hand side on that one.
Yes, we're so used to seeing these players make the game look so easy, but a little bit of pressure on that green, and he knew it. I mean, obviously they handle pressure. That needs to slow down. He may just have slowed down enough to be on the black. Obviously hasn't. He's having to play a pressure green.
Oh, that's a great shot. Great shot, well played.
4. Five.
This match concludes this evening. And, well, I suppose if Mark Allen can win this frame and the last one and go into all square, he'd be reasonably happy, although John Higgins, having won the first 4 frames, will be thinking maybe he should have pushed on.
7.
Won a marvellous frame, the last one, but that green caught him out in this.
Eight.
What a chance now for Mark Allen to get within 1.
Mark will be pleased to get the blue back on the spot. Just gives him a few more options. He had to get on the blue perfectly because
14.
The blue would have been a very tough pot into the centre pocket from anywhere other than where he finished. This is really
19.
good stuff from both players now.
Yes, Peter, I think we can safely say that both players are at the top of the game, and it's making for an enthralling contest. Had a chance. Might not get another one in this frame.
28.
This black to go 40 points in front. There you see it. Still 67 remaining.
35.
2 reds, 2 high value colours still required.
36.
Found himself a nice angle on the blue.
And after John Higgins' truly outstanding clearance in the previous frame, what a
41.
wonderful response this has been from Mark Allen. This is missable. This is not easy, this red. Oh, well played. Excellent, excellent.
42.
If he plays the brown, he'll go 51 points in front with 51 remaining. So as in the last frame, he's looking for one more red to clinch it, and that's not perfect. There you see it, 51 ahead,
46.
51 remaining. For the play for the blue off the last red he potted, he'd have been in the snooker's required stage. No, would you believe it? He's played it that way, thinking he may get the cover with the black, and I think he's probably right. John Higgins can still tie.
But he didn't this time. There was no comeback from John in that one. Alan took the frame to nudge the score to 7-8. One behind, and a grandstand final frame of the session was coming up.
Well, if he's covered, well, tap on the table from John telling you that he's in a spot of bother here. Don't think you can get this once again back to the balk end. If he plays the red that's just away from the cushion, he'll do very well not to get the double kiss. The brown is covering those reds that are just sticking out on the right-hand side of the cluster as we look. Where's the red ball going? Where's the red ball going? Oh, well. Strange game this, isn't it? You have all the skill in the world, but you can't beat a bit of luck.
Eight. Nine.
There's one red he could get on, and one that's immediately above the black. It's available into probably both corners and got a nice angle on the green. Judged it beautifully. But now all thoughts on getting a nice angle on the black to try and disturb some more reds here. Nobody's really been developing the reds like you'd normally expect. You usually play this with a lot of backspin and try and arc the cue ball into the reds. And that's what John did. But once again, I've never seen the reds not open as much as they normally do, particularly off the black. It seems to me the blue's the best ball now to try and open the reds.
Yeah, maybe it's just the atmospherics out there today, John, but certainly, as you quite rightly say, the reds haven't been opening as much as they normally would do when
John
players
Higgins,
have been
20.
playing the power shot to screw through the balls. And I suppose, to be perfectly honest, from an impartial viewpoint, it would have been a shame for the frame to have finished on a fluke on that visit. So will Mark Allen get an opportunity to possibly level at 8 each? You certainly feel the way both players have played, they would deserve to go into the final session 8 apiece. But that's a mistake from Mark Allen. And you would expect John Higgins to take full advantage of this opportunity.
Yes, not happy with that safety shot, Mark. And if John rolls this in, could be a very costly one. Right in the heart of the pocket. Nicely on the black. Lost the first session of this match, 5 frames to 3. And if he can take this frame now and get another 41 points, he'll have won this session 6-2.
9.
Just passing the 4-hour match time. Oh, wow.
17.
That looked wide. Just decelerated there, and that caught that red a little bit too thin. Needs a cannon now. Got it. And now a straightforward run, particularly as the red immediately to the left of the pink goes to the right corner.
24.
If it doesn't, there's just a testy pot here, but with the blue up in the balk end and the balk colours on the spot, you wouldn't think it'd cause a problem. Well, he decided to roll it in and come across the table for the pink.
John Higgins, 24.
And maybe he was just edging his bets there slightly, which is very surprising for John Higgins.
Yes, I don't think that John would have missed that if he'd have played the shot you suggested. A stun shot with a touch of left-hand side. Again, seemed to possibly decelerate slightly through the cue ball there and pulled it thin. That was a tough chance for Mark Allen there with the rest. Don't think he's left this red into the centre. It's certainly very difficult. Well, you can see there it does go, but it's certainly not easy.
Yeah, thin. You've just got to play it and let gravity take over. No, it wasn't as difficult as it looked from our position. He was able to control the cue ball. So he's needed 3 chances here, John Higgins, which is unusual the way he's played so far this morning, but of course the importance of this frame is he's well there in his mind, and maybe that just did affect him on a couple of shots he's played, but
6.
Now back in perfect position to take the frame. And look how far he is behind on the points. But that's really because Mark Allen has made 4 centuries in this match.
7.
So some stats don't mean a lot. But Mark Allen, as I say, came into this session with a 2-frame advantage. Looks for all money now. He's going to be 2 frames behind.
If that were to be the case, John, I still feel that this match is very evenly poised because John Higgins knows that Mark Allen is playing well enough to rattle 3, 4, 5 frames off if he does get the opportunity in the next session.
Yes, absolutely.
13.
John Higgins will be taking nothing for granted, but he'll be over the moon. He's got a 2-frame advantage going into the
14.
final session this evening. This match is already a classic. If it goes all the way, it'll be one of the most memorable matches ever played at the Crucible. And I think, as you like to say, Peter, there'll be a few twists and turns before we see the end
20.
of this. Just this red to go 47 points in front with just 43 remaining. Roped it in. Well, you've got to take your hat off to this man. You know, we talk about the
28.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, John Higgins, Mark Williams era, and he's still there, firing on all cylinders.
He produces time and time and time again, and he's done it again this morning.
John Higgins, 28.
And but for 3-4 snookers, John Higgins will have that 2-frame advantage going into the final session this evening.
And Mark didn't get them, so there we are, confirming 9-7, and from 2 behind, 2 in front. Another fantastic session of snooker. John and Steve enjoyed it very much. This is classic Higgins, John, isn't it?
It's just a brilliant match all round. But you look back on the match, and the last frame yesterday afternoon, when they played, he got out of it 5-3 behind. Then he's had a frame where he's been 70 behind, cleared up. Then he's won the important last frame again. I mean, what a match player he is. Mark Allen has played fantastically well in this match, and he's 9-7 down. But John Higgins' match play is superb.
Exactly. How do you reconcile this, Steve? Because, you know, the best ever in a 25 frames match at the Crucible is 6 centuries. That was Mark Selby about 6 years ago. He's made 4 and he's 2 behind.
Yeah, do you know, in a way, going back a number of years, I think you'd say, oh, you could sort of ease yourself into the tournament somewhat, and that you tried to peak for the final stages. I don't think that's the case now. You've got to hit the floor running from round 1, and your second round opponent is Mark Allen, your second round opponent is John Higgins, and that's a tough match, and you've got to be on it all the time. There is no breathing space. You know, neither of them want to play each other, but there again, you don't want to play anybody.
Who's going to win it is the point. Can you see Mark Allen coming back? If he has another burst of form like he showed in the first session?
Well, of course he can. He can definitely, because he's playing well enough. I mean, if he didn't have his game, then you would say, no, John Higgins is home and hosed in this, but it's not the case. He's playing really well. John Higgins will know it. The first frame tonight, when he plays, massive.
It is, and you'll be able to share that with us on BBC Two and then the Red Button all evening from 7 o'clock. We'll be watching every ball. Cannot wait for that. But you know, this is what the 90th anniversary of the World Championship. First played for in 1927, but we've got so many memories from the last 40 years because this is the 40th anniversary of the championship being staged here at the Crucible. And you will be able to see the gala celebration. I believe it's still on the iPlayer, which preceded this championship from last Friday night. But watch out as well on Sunday. There's a new documentary authored by our Steve Davis. It's well worth catching up.
Join me, Steve Davis, for a Crucible celebration.
There's lots of things that shouldn't be right about the place, but it just is.
Once you get serious about snooker, it's where you want to play, isn't it?
The best moments in snooker have all been at the Crucible.
He's done it!
It's like the saddest person in Sheffield.
It was heartbreaking.
I like to remember when he tilts his cap.
It's got so much history attached to it.
Oh, wonderful!
It's the shrine of snooker. Just the Crucible, I think it just does it to you, doesn't it?
BBC Two, Sunday, 9 p.m.
Definitely worth watching. And by the way, you can actually vote for some of your favourite Crucible moments. It's taking place on a poll, actually, on the BBC Sport website in the snooker section there. So make sure you log on and you can pick your favourite. Now, Steve, that must have been a labour of love in order to make that. And you caught up with an awful lot of old friends. What are some of the high points, would you say, in the documentary? What did it evoke to you?
85 final. I'm not voting for it. Do you know what? It was lovely to talking to so many different people from all walks, fans, celebrities that come, snooker players, champions. And the moment you start talking about it and they get their memories, they open up, and this place is in our DNA. Yeah, and we all have such brilliant memories here, and we're all richer for it, I think. You know, so that was the overwhelming feeling I got.
OK, I'm looking forward to it. We had a chat about it during I think it was the Masters. We had a chat about it, and all of the memories, as you say, came flooding back from my short few years doing it, but it is a heck of a place. OK, it is time for another cab confessional with a certain dodgy driver, Mr. Davis. Liang Wenbo is an excitable character at the best of times, but put him through this, why don't you?
Anyone order a taxi?
Hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, it's not Stephen.
Okay. Steve.
It's just
Again?
Steve. No.
Okay.
No.
Steve.
Just
Steve.
not. It's just not.
Steve.
Just Steve.
Steve.
Never been Stephen. On my birth certificate, it just says Steve.
Okay.
We were very poor.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford
Where
the
you
inn.
live in London?
I live in Essex and in England and Manchester sometimes.
Sometimes Manchester.
Yeah. So what would we listen to? We're in the car. What's your favourite music? Chinese music or UK Western music?
I think I got the 3-4 years. The Chinese man.
Yeah?
Liu Dewai is from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. His music is the best in the world. I think.
Really?
In China, Asian. I think he's Asian. A lot of he's so famous. Yeah.
I know. I don't know the words, but I know one Chinese song.
Yeah.
Shall I sing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
I'll sing the melody because I know the melody, but it's a song from the 1990s.
Yeah, let's try.
Chinese, okay?
Yeah.
It goes like this. You must tell me if you know this song.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Okay.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
It's 99,999 roses.
Yeah, it's this song. I think maybe it's so famous. I know this the man. He's so famous. Yeah, he sing. A lot of people like it.
Yeah. Perhaps I didn't do it justice.
So
Perhaps I was not.
He's
Perhaps,
so famous.
do you think I'm a good singer?
Good.
Do you like the karaoke?
Yeah. Very good.
Do you do the karaoke in China?
Karaoke, sometimes. Yeah.
But not.
No.
You're not going to bring out a record.
No.
What do you walk onto when you walk on for the World Championship? What is a
Chinese man?
It's the Chinese one.
Man.
Chinese man. That's the one, yeah.
Many years.
Yeah.
Strong, give me confidence.
How did it go? How does it go?
It's a co. It's from Hong Kong guy.
Liu
Dewai.
How does it go? How does it sound?
5000年的风和雨呀，藏了多少梦。
Got it. I know that one. It's like
You know,
snooker.
yeah?
Do you know Snooker Loopy?
Oh yeah.
Snooker looping nuts.
I like the poker face. Yeah, poker face. Yeah, as well.
Poker face.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
poker
good one.
face, yeah.
But it's not as good as Snooker Loopy.
Yeah, it's
Snooker
like- I
Loopy
like
is
it.
different. Snooker Loopy nuts are we? I mean, come on. No. Okay. So what do you do if you're at home? You watch a film.
Yeah, watch.
read books.
I like the play the game for people. 2 people, the friend, me and you, and
but online.
another 2, online, yeah.
Well, like fighting.
The game, like poker, but different.
Oh, right, like mahjong or not?
Make me relax and
Okay.
make time and watch movie, Chinese movie. When watch movie, I very concentrate. Maybe 2 days, no practice. Very long, 40, what have to say the 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe I 40 and 2 days. After 2 days, I try, but this may not good for me.
Just keep playing snooker.
Yeah.
We're home.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yes, Steve displaying extensive knowledge of the Mandarin folk scene. Who knew? Who knew? Well, anyway, he seems to be none the worse for his experience, Liang Wenbo, and he goes into this final session with a possible 9 more frames to play, only 2 behind Ding Junhui, having actually half the deficit in yesterday's second session. There he is. And John, reading the honours board here, but that was a furious and flamboyant comeback he staged last night.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie got him right in his interview saying he was excitable. That's a very good word to use for him. You don't quite know what's going to happen with him. He's a fantastic player. His break building is superb. His cue ball control is outstanding. But when there's shot with a fair bit of pressure on it, I don't think there's anybody who plays who's got as much body movement. He knocks some of them in, obviously, because that's why he's a top-class player. But I like watching him because there's a feeling that something could go wrong at any minute.
Okay, well, he's actually won the Steve Davis Trophy as the winner of the English Open last year, Steve. And I think we all saw a different side to this man. He certainly got the temperament to be able to claim big titles. We saw him in the UK Championship final a couple of years ago too.
Yeah, I think all of a sudden he believes that he can play the game at the highest level as well, so he's a bit more relaxed around there. What was interesting yesterday, sort of picking up sometimes and watching some of the snooker, they were just having a chat, having a laugh in the chair, and like I don't know exactly how their relationship is in China, but from Ding's perspective, I would have liked to, and I'm sure Stephen Hendry would have liked to have been more reserved and kept himself away from other players and not talk as much.
Okay, well, Liang's ready. All 4 players backstage ready, because we've got Stephen Maguire taking on the man who caused that sensation in the first round, Rory McIlroy, beat Judd Trump. So here we go for the 21st time, I think it is, here in Sheffield this year already. It's over to Rob Walker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another brilliant session of snooker here at the 2017 Betfred World Championships. 2 players through to the last 8. Time to find out who's next through to this year's quarterfinals. Please welcome, first of all, a player who produced one of the biggest upsets in Crucible history on Wednesday night, knocking out one of this year's favourites, Judd Trump, with a superb display. It was the biggest win of his 23-year career so far. And here he is, marching into the second round. His mates call him the Highlander, Rory McIlroy. What a reception. And his opponent, a player who this year came through qualifying and did so in fine style. That form continued here in the first round with a comprehensive win over his good friend Anthony McGill. 5 times a ranking event winner. It's his 7th appearance in the second round. The pride of Glasgow. When he's good, he's on fire. Here's Stephen Maguire. On table 1, please welcome a player bidding for his 2nd Crucible quarter-final. A superb century break and 4 other 50-plus clearances yesterday reduced the deficit. Remember, he's this season's English Open champion. What a huge session of snooker this is for the man they call the firecracker, Liang Wenbo. And finally, a man who has inspired, clearly, a generation of players back home. He's now 4 frames away from a 5th Crucible quarter-final. This season's Shanghai Masters champion and winner of 12 ranking titles in all. A national hero back home in China. So enter the dragon, Ding Junhui!
So here we go, Rory and Stephen getting underway online and on the BBC Sport app for you this afternoon. But of course, we'll keep you posted throughout the afternoon. But it's to this all Chinese final session that we go in the company of Willie Thorne and Stephen Hendry. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hazel. Really looking forward to this final session. Very interested to see the way that Liang Wenbo entered the arena. The first session, he was very...
Thank you, frame 17.
Very serious-faced.
Way to break.
Last night, he came out all laughing and joking. He played very well. He was more relaxed there as well, so interesting to see what happens here. Should be a good one.
Absolutely, Stephen. I've had the pleasure of doing both these sessions of this match, and it couldn't have been different. Ding Junhui dominated the first session, the 1-6-2, and Liang Wenbo dominated the second session and should have actually levelled the match. It should have been 6-2 to him. That's how much of a better player he was in the second session. But this is the final session now. All to play for. Never looked like reaching.
Ding Junhui fall.
But the breaks in this match, Stephen, have been very, very good. The scoring has been excellent.
Yeah, you come to expect it from Ding Junhui. Definitely the first session he was at the much the heavier scorer. Liang Wenbo when he goes into one. I was just watching until the referee put the cue ball. Great character. I was actually with him last night with Ken Doherty playing poker, Liang Wenbo.
Yeah, he's quite a lad, isn't he? I mean, he's only going to play the same shot anyway, so I don't know why the referees sometimes don't give the player the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he knows the angle's on, so Ding's going to accept it as well. Didn't seem too pleased with this, having a taxi ride with Steve Davis, though, did he? Those who were watching the... He would, correct, absolutely.
Well, it goes without saying, this first frame is going to be very important. This little mini session of 4 frames. Liang Wenbo would, I think, has to win it 3-1. 4-0 would be excellent, but if he can win this session...
I think that was a foul shot.
I've seen the red rock. I've seen his rock.
Ding didn't think he'd hit it. The referee thought he had.
You're not sure?
They're having a little discussion at the minute. He's not sure. The referee thought he'd just the red moved, but Ding thought he played a foul shot. And what does Liang think?
Well, surely the player knows.
Yeah, for me it rocked.
What?
So.
Yeah, the red definitely
Absolutely rocked, yes. Definitely rocked.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Well, you wouldn't guess it was a final session of a second round at the Crucible so far. Very relaxed.
I know you've discussed in the studio with Hazel that you feel that Ding is undoubtedly the best Chinese player. I'm sure we'll all agree, but this could be the session really where Ding could come under pressure because he's got a Chinese opponent. He's obviously trying to get to the quarterfinals of the championship and obviously prove he's the Chinese #1. I wonder whether that'll bring extra pressure today.
I think we'll find that out if Liang Wenbo can win maybe the first 2 frames. We'll really see what Ding's made of. Be interesting to see the reaction. Approaching 10 o'clock at night in China, so I'm sure there'll be millions of Chinese snooker fans glued to this match.
No, noticed Ding just hold his hand up there. He was playing to find the baulk cushion, not behind the brown. He's just seeing if he can miss the 2 reds on the left-hand side cushion and drop on the one on the baulk cushion. He's obviously decided he can't. So it looks like the 2 cushion escape, hopefully hitting it thin. Which he hasn't done. This will be replaced.
Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui 4.
Quite clearly compensated on his first effort and completely misjudged it. Dean's got to be a little bit careful he doesn't cannon into the red that's nearest the blue spot here and playing for blue or baulk colour. Just in case he misses it, he doesn't want to cannon into that. Oh, he's not settled.
That was a very nervy one.
Decided it pots, but he can only see the left-hand jaw, not the centre of the pocket, so needs a good pot. Well done.
One.
Perfectly on the pink to play for the red. It's closest to the black spot. Play for that red into the left corner pocket. Maybe had more angle in the pink.
7.
The view we had from up here. Oh.
Mm.
8.
Long time since I've been in a position like that with my body. Goodness me. Brought tears to my eyes in playing that.
Thank you.
No, great pot. This is excellent. Okay, it had nothing to do with the cue ball, but
14.
With that pink right in the middle of the pocket from tight under the cushion.
Could play a stun run through off this red, and if he wanted to stun run through and leave the black, he can do, but he's got the pink there as well. He'll probably play for the pink until he clears that red just above the black spot. I'm surprised with the way
15.
he played that. Why would he want to play it for the blue? I don't know. That kiss has been very fortunate, so I don't think he'd have been on anything but the kiss in the black. He's on this red just.
21.
Try to develop another couple of reds. A little unfortunate actually to push those
26.
two reds safe, but this cutback's on, but obviously we're playing up for blue or bulk colour. Once he's got that kiss in the joints of both reds, he's unlucky not to push them both into open play. So cue ball will be running loose here.
$27. $32.
I don't know whether both reds are available to the left corner. I think both of them go. Looks like possibly both reds are available.
$38.
Decent visit to the table this has been. He's had to work really hard. He's 38 points so far. Marseille's had been in perfect position.
$39.
May have the natural angle on the pink to actually come behind this red in the black cushion and play it to the left corner. Well, he's not on the red, that's very unfortunate. This was a very aggressive
45.
shot. Hit them absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. Very aggressive shot, as Stephen suggested, into the bunch there. And he's got a 37-point lead, which doesn't sound a lot, but there's a few reds safe. Black out of commission at the moment, but he needs to put another red safe, I would suggest, if he can. Just playing a negative safety, which could put him in trouble if he can. Well, but he might even be able to put this red in, and he may have not hampered him. This red along the top cushion may cut. He's not looked at it yet. He's going to take the option of bringing a red off the cushion, which obviously he'll need. I can only presume Stephen is worried about kissing the red and the blue, but surely he can play it thicker to miss that kiss.
Yeah, I think if he can get to play the red thick, his only problem is getting in between the yellow and brown. The cue ball somewhere in the baulk cushion, behind sort of that green brownish area. So he's quite a thick contact in this red, but it's the right shot to get one of these reds off the cushion. No, he's not got the gap.
Another excellent long cross. Every chance now winning the frame. It's his visitor. We see it again for the second time. He seems to have settled a lot quicker than Ding this afternoon.
Six. Seven. Liang went ball
Possibly a lot more difficult pink than that a few moments ago when breaking into the reds, but that's given Ding Junhui a lifeline. A long way away too. So 44 points behind. Black in play.
Thank you.
New favourite in this frame.
One. Eight. Nine.
Ideally, where the two reds are either side of the table, you'd like to get the pink on its spot because it's a lot easier to drop behind them with the pink there. But it doesn't particularly have a good angle on the pink. This is not good. You won't particularly like this one along the cushion.
15.
Yeah, a little bit clumsy that one was. Again, gotta just avoid colliding with one of those baulk colours. He's done it this time. It's a good shot.
Ding Junhui 15.
Liang Wenbo might be forced into taking one of these reds on.
was a nervy one, wasn't it? Hit it far too thick. But lucky of him, has got away with it. The yellow's come to his rescue. Bar the kiss on the blue, that would have been okay. It's worth taking this on. He's 29 points in front, 2 reds relatively safe. So there's plenty of value in taking this on. Surprises me that. I thought he'd take that one on. Trying to be a little bit too careful now. I mean, missed that pink in the middle a few moments ago. Well, answers on a postcard what he played there. Wow. That's up there with one of the worst shot dings played this week. He'll be horrified to see where that's finished.
Well.
So 37 points in front, red and black, is enough to close within 1.
9.
Just birding the black line, knowing that was frame ball. Needs to make sure of this
16.
red though, to keep Ding from coming back.
17.
This frame hasn't been pretty, but the important thing for Liang Wenbo and his supporters is that he's won the frame. And there's worrying signs to me the way that Ding's played that frame, especially with the very last shot he played in that, his last visit to the table where he played the poorest safety shot he's played all week.
Yeah, that body language is not good. You know, there's a chance it might not mean anything the way he's sitting, but to me it doesn't look right.
31.
Maybe he's just chilling while Liang Wenbo is clearing the table.
Thank you. 36.
Just the start Liang Wenbo wanted though in this first frame.
40. 45. 51.
So Paxton, 45 and 58 have won this very important opening frame for Liang Wenbo. It closes the gap to 5-4. Apologies for that last mistake. Of course it's not 5-4, it's 9-8, but I knew there was only one frame in it.
Thank you. Frame 18. Liang Wenbo to break.
Liang Wenbo breaks off and by a long way has looked the more comfortable and confident player so far this afternoon.
Now, like you, Stephen, was a bit concerned about the Ding's body language when sat in the chair. He didn't seem to be concentrating too much on the frame. Played a very thick safety shot there. Needs to avoid the blue, which he has done, but there will be some sort of pot on here for Ding. Now is it time to have a go at the one next to the blue? Can take the white back into baulk, or is he going to play a telling safety shot? Yeah, maybe playing the cut into the corner. I think it'll just pass. He's just played the safety shot. He's not feeling great at the moment. I can tell with his body language as well. He's not his normal aggressive self. Very surprised he refused the pot on the one next to the blue. The one he hit anyway. It's a funny game, isn't it? I mean, he's gone for a pot there that was a million times more difficult than the last red he refused. I'd be worried if I'd been in Ding's camp at the moment.
One. Six. Thank you. Thank you.
Could have done with the keyboard, just keep another inch off the cushion because
7.
he's going to have to play a very delicate shot if he's going to hold for the red just above the white there, but may decide to play for the red in the right-hand corner. See the way he plays this shot. Oh, he's able to hold it. So this is already now a good chance to score heavily and perhaps level the match
14.
at 9-all.
15. Twenty-two. 23. 30. 31. 38. 39.
Slightly hampered. He's 39 points in front and the break's still going. Just enough room to get through those two reds to get his hand on the table. A lot of cue out of his bridge hand though.
$46. $47.
Not too sure whether the red nearest the yellow passes into the corner. If it does, he can play to get on that red now. That tells me it doesn't pot. But that's an excellent positional shot. Well done. The enemy just below the pink pots.
$53.
Such is the standard of these two players throughout the 2.5 sessions there. 263 balls potted, each of them.
This has been a very impressive start though this afternoon.
59.
Liang Wenbo really has come out
60.
with a good attitude. has to be said. The same can't be said for his opponent. Ding just doesn't look on it at all.
66.
Yes, he looks like he's on a mission, doesn't he, Liang Wenbo, today?
67. $74. 75.
He just dropped the white right on the cushion there to be on all three reds. There's a bit betwixt and between, but the frame's safe.
82.
Well done.
83.
It's doing very well now.
90. 91.
Ding has already made 2 centuries in this game. Liang Wenbo's got the highest of the match so far, a break of 130.
28.
Red and colour to make another century. Oh, what a shame, but a fabulous break from Liang Wenbo. Breaks out on 98, but the important thing is he's levelled the match at 9-all.
And don't forget that Liang Wenbo was 2 frames to 6 behind, and he's now won 7 of the last 10 frames. Now, this is a proper comeback by Liang today.
Yeah, and it's the first 2 frames of this session are following what happened last night. Ding had a couple of long pots early on that went anywhere near the pocket, and he didn't look like he'd settled down. First 2 frames today, exactly the same.
Steve, it's possible that Liang has always been in the thrall of Ding Junhui. After all, Ding is the man who's been the standard bearer. He's the one that everybody's tried to emulate over the years. And his popularity is consequently definitely not as high as that of Ding. This is a real top dog in Chinese snooker kind of match as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I assume you think so. I mean, obviously, you know, from Liang's perspective, his stock will have risen in China because of winning that tournament in Manchester, the English Open, and it's hard to know because we're not over there to know how it all pans out. And they seem to be getting on very well as friends. As you would imagine, over the years, they've had to spend time in the UK and they would have gravitated towards each other. But it's probably a tough match, more difficult for Ding to play against a Chinese player than it would be against a Western player in some respects. And he does look a little bit under it. I still fancy him to get over the line. But as I said at the start, I'd have tried to have kept my distance away, not chatting around the table a bit with Liang Wenbo during the match. I'd have tried to have kept myself a bit more aloof from it all.
Well, it's 9 frames apiece and 91% pot success for both men so far. Back we go.
Ding Junhui breaks off. Steve Davis is always aloof, never used to say hello to anybody.
Yeah, I know what he's saying though. When we saw the camera shots of the 2 players backstage, they were laughing and joking together. I don't believe that's Ding's natural character before a match. If it was a whoa, what a shot that is. And they've set up in a position with it. I was going to say, if Liang Wenbo deliberately drew Ding Junhui into conversations, it was quite a shrewd move.
Excellent pot, obviously playing to run off the pack to play for baulk colour, but hit the second red a little thick. So now he's forced into taking the black on, which he'd be delighted if he can kiss the red just to the right of the black spot there. Full ball, hold for the other red. That's the one. And this is an excellent chance again to score heavily. Ding, in my opinion, is in serious trouble.
8. 9. 16. 17. 24. 25.
It's got the perfect angle to go through the gap of reds there and hit the 2 reds near the pink, but there must be a red potting, hence playing with topspin. Well, one of these 2 reds must pot into the corner, or they wouldn't have played there. And from this camera angle we can show you now, you can clearly see it does. Now, it may be worth just glancing off the red that's closest to, just to make both those reds pot. As you can see from that picture, they don't pot. I'm sure, Stephen, you'd have flicked into that red, wouldn't you, to make it potable?
Yeah, that definitely looked on. You just follow the cue, ball through, half ball contact on the second round, and you would end up on the black. And as you say, just another way of making this break more straightforward.
He wasn't aware, I'm sure, that he was on blacks at the time. It's more important to win the frame.
Thank you. 39. 40. 47.
You hear the phrase "in the zone." Said it lots of sports. That's exactly where Liang Wenbo is at the moment. These long frame matches at the Crucible, momentum is so important. Having the ability to reel off 3, 4, 5
55.
frames in a spin.
It's the way Liang's going. He won't want to have an interval, obviously. If he wins this frame, he'd like to keep going. There's only one more frame before the interval. After this, he'd like to keep going the way that Ding is at the minute, and Ding certainly needs an interval, I think, just to get himself together. Works very closely with the legend Terry Griffiths.
56.
Terry's going to need all his good work to get him in the right frame of mind, because at the moment he's not in the right frame of mind.
I think that shot needed a bit more pace injected into the cue ball. But because that red and pink are touching, you need to hit that a lot harder. So unless this red passes into the right middle, it's end of break. So a disappointing end. The way he was going, he'd be wanting to carry on and win the frame in one visit. He'd be a bit frustrated about that.
Liang Wenbo 61.
But obviously still a commanding position.
Ding is worried that the red on the cushion, he'd probably get the double kiss if he plays the thin safety shot. That's why he's playing 2 cushions to rest on the red below the black. The way things are going, he hasn't had much table time. He may misjudge this with pace. When I say misjudge it, it's misjudge it by a mile.
Foul and a miss. Liang Wenbo 7. Back.
It's not a things are normally excellent. This sort of shot.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Willie and I are both surprised that after that shot, Wenbo had the cue ball replaced and did have a straight red to right middle. I don't know whether he's expecting Ding just to foul his way to needing a snooker. Which I suppose is a possibility. Already 72-0 down. But he's going to get warned this time.
Okay. Liang, you sure? Yeah. You have to hit the ball on this time, otherwise you forfeit a frame.
So will he have to force himself into take this red to the right corner? He did attempt it. And then Wenbo's been left the red that he turned down. It was easier the last time. The red to right middle.
The fact that Ding missed the pot by such a long way, he's actually gained an advantage here because the red in the middle is fraught with danger, with the red being on the baulk pocket there. But he's 72 points in front, so he only needs a red. Just checking the scoreboard, we'll probably need a red and a colour, but if he pots the red in the middle, you'd think he'd pot the blue. The only other alternative is just playing off the side cushion and rolling up to the red that's behind the black. Looks like he's decided to take it on. It's not there.
suppose the positive we can take out of that is he's already played, has gone safe.
One. Six. Seven.
I'm not saying he's going to win the game at this visit, but boy, he's got every chance of getting back into this frame. Very rarely when your opponent scores 72 points do you win the frame.
13. $14.
So he'd love to just make sure 3 reds and 3 high-valued colours off these 3 reds now. And then if he doesn't drop on the red down the rail, he'll certainly try and move it, I would imagine. But he'll have the first chance at the safety shot on that red should he put the next 3 reds, 3 colours.
22. $29. 30.
A little bit dangerous in playing the cannon, but he's left himself a tricky cutback.
37.
35 points behind. So he can afford 2 browns almost to win the frame. Just checking the scoreboard because he obviously can't get on the pink or black here unless he goes in and out of balk.
I think if the cue ball was slightly... Is he looking at even taking that other red out from the shot? He needs to get a colour, that's the only problem. I think maybe it's just a little bit of an acute angle.
$38.
Well, now he can't get on the red, so just make sure the pot on the brown and try and play a good safety shot.
Yeah, people may be asking why is he not rolling up behind the brown, because he'd only be 34 points in front. So he'd rather get the 4 points guaranteed, and then he doesn't necessarily need the black off the last red.
Well, that's Ding Junhui. He's always looking to try and win the frame whenever he's at the table. But I think there I'd been tempted just to make sure the brown and leave yourself in a position to play a really good safety shot, or at least make it easier. A lot tougher from where he is now to play that telling safety to try and force a mistake out of his opponent.
Ding Junhui, 42.
So who's going to win this safety battle on the last red? Whoever does. If it's Ding, he'll have a chance to go to the front again. And it looked for all money a few moments ago that he was going to be losing the first 3 frames of this session and going 10-9 behind. Not about hitting this next red, it's getting it safe. Have to hit this quite firm. Leave plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball.
Yeah, this could become a pivotal frame in this match. Ding could win it from 72-0 down. And this cue ball doesn't look too bad. Oh, just creeps past the green. And will Ding be tempted? No is the answer. The way the colours are situated in the middle of the table, it's not too difficult to get snookers. More or less every shot you play, as long as you're the aggressor, you can get that snooker. But as he left the gap, looks like it, in between blue and black.
For a breath, I thought he'd left that well short. He didn't play it anywhere near there, obviously, but he's got the brown and the black has come to his rescue. And this is not straightforward, because the red is so close to the cushion. Unless he hits this thin, he won't be able to put plenty of distance between them. If he hits it full, the red's virtually going to stay, sorry, the white's virtually going to stay around that side of the table. This is not straightforward at all. This is very easy to hit. I'm not saying that, but very hard to get safe. Ding's turn, however, with a good fortune. He just put his hand up there to apologise. Didn't play it that way. The kiss off the blue has left Liang snookered.
Foul and a miss. Things are way full. Yeah. Well, I need it just to
He pulls some faces, doesn't he?
Yeah. Thank you. Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui full. And again.
Well, these are all useful points for Ding Junhui. Liang Wenbo just doesn't want to put the white to hit the right hand side of the red. That's why he's trying to hit the left hand side of the red as the cue ball goes up the table. That's why he's missing it this way. Good shot. He's always going to land safe as long as you hit the left hand side of the red. But Ding still has the advantage.
So albeit all these snookers are very heated at hits, he's got the advantage in the safety play at the moment. It's another situation where he has hit it quite firm. I suppose he could run it to it dead weight, but it's dangerous doing it that way. If he was in front, I mean, say for instance he was leading the match like 9-7 or something like that, rather than 9-all, he'd take this red on, but it's such an easy snooker to leave the red where it is and flick off it, and there's 5 snookering balls, yellow, blue, brown, pink, black. Sometimes you have to play to the scoreboard really. Then once again, Liang Wenbo's maybe he can get through to it this time.
Yeah, this is definitely an opportunity to take the red on here. No, refused it. Or did he refuse it?
One.
Well, he raised his hand, but it's not really any good to him in terms of it's not really giving him a frame winning chance. He's getting to play the next shot. That's about all you could say about that fluke.
Amazing enough, he's put himself in a little bit of trouble here because he can't see the pink, which he'd like to roll up to the pink to leave him snookered. So he's going to be very, very careful here. He doesn't leave some sort of pot on the yellow. It's not easy to cover the yellow from there. Well, he's playing very thin. He'll be putting the green towards the side cushion. Has he covered the yellow? That's a clever shot if he has.
These are wee one.
He can just see it. That's a good reply. So all of a sudden now, Liang's got the upper hand on the safety. Be trying to kiss it from behind, obviously, but doesn't want the yellow to career into the blue, brown, or black, because that would leave some sort of pot on. So needs to try and avoid blue, brown and black with his shot once he's hit the yellow. Oh, needs to hit the yellow though. If it's a free ball, this is the end of frame.
Foul and a miss. Liang Wenbo 4.
Boy, that was very careless from Ding. Still in the frame. There's only 25 points in it, but this is frame ball. Well, Liang Wenbo knows he should have won this frame 10 minutes ago. All of a sudden now, he's trying to be too careful. And Ding can get through to this yellow. This is already the longest frame of the match so far.
Ding has really got to sense that this is a big moment in this match now. Put everything into this yellow.
Boy, that looked in, didn't it? That's amazing. That's hit right inside the far jaw. At this end of the table, the balls have been going in off the far jaw. Don't think he can hold it for the green into the middle, so there's no real advantage in taking the yellow on. As he's thinking of going in and out of balk and back down. Can't play it slow enough to hold for the green. Well, decided to try and play it as slow as possible to hold for the green, and it's cost him the frame.
Two.
He needs to make sure of this green.
Five. Liang win ball 5.
No, Ding's coming back to the table and he's 2 snookers and all the colours to tie. Tall enough order, but all 4 colours in the middle of the table. I don't fancy his chances at all.
Thank you.
Decent effort.
Thanks. Foul.
Well, can you believe that? Wow. Never ever seen such a careless shot played by a professional player. Now only one snooker to tie.
Four.
Well, this could be missable. One cushion, the middle pocket's in the way to be perfect. Obviously coming down this side, one cushion is no... The only thing that could go wrong here, he could catch the far drawer of the middle pocket. So he's got to be a little careful. If he does catch the far drawer, he missed the blue, but he's hit it nicely.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look at pink and black in the middle of the table. This is going to be so difficult for Ding Junhui. I think now it's obviously one snooker now to win the frame, not to tie.
Last time he swerved, all he went in off. Goodness me. Why did he not play it offside? Because he played some strange shots, Liang Wenbo. People may be asking why he didn't just play the pot it firmly. He was worried about the off in the top corner pocket. That's why he played it slowly. He's putting himself through the ringer here for no reason. Many moons ago he had a straight red in the middle, having snookered Ding on the previous shot and put Ding back in again when he only needed the red and colour. Since then he's been playing catch up. Been trying to protect the lead. 35 minutes this frame's been going on.
So surely now this blue goes to right corner. Yep, it's there. And Ding quickly concedes. Liang Wenbo has taken the top 3 frames of this afternoon's session. Now leads Ding Junhui 10 frames to 9.
And a big turnaround in this match because it's the first time that Liang has led, and it was Ding Junhui who took the opening frame a long time ago with an opening break of 111, which seems like days ago. Well, in fact, it was days ago. It was yesterday morning, in fact. And there was an opening red there from Liang, which does seem like eons ago, I grant you, and it had you leaping out of your chair, this one. A beautiful shot.
Yeah, I mean, the ball he potted, it looked like so risky a shot. Yes, he was trying to get the cue ball down the table, escape from that, but What a power pot. He's in great aggressive mode, and yeah, the alarm bells are surely ringing for Ding Junhui. I mean, he's the equivalent of a boxer being on the ropes at the moment. He's reeling.
Yeah, well, exactly. And in that first session, John, yesterday morning, he knocked 2 centuries in, and he looked very much the aggressor, but he seems to have retreated a little bit into his shell in the last few frames anyway.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. I think he's done that, but also I think certainly last night, Liang's scoring was fantastic. He had something like 84, 85, 130. I mean, he honestly should have had the highest break of the tournament, missed an easy pink. Should have had 143. So he scored, which he hadn't done in the opening session. So that's been what's been the tail of this match so far. At 10-9, he's right under the cosh here.
Yeah, he's won 8 of the last 11 frames now as well.
Yeah, and I tell you what, can you imagine what's happening back in China at the moment? This match will be beamed live, yeah? OK, it's going to be after 12 o'clock on a Saturday night. Yeah, and they're going to be watching it in all the sports bars. And the commentary team and the presentation team will be jumping up and down in the air. They'll be so much more animated about the prospect of who's going to win this match. It'd be interesting to see what they were coming up with in their interviews and the commentators were saying, and in the analysts as well.
Yeah, and they know, obviously, that he's going to play Ronnie O'Sullivan, whoever it is, going through. So there's an awful lot to look forward to. And, of course, there's another couple of Chinese players in this draw as well. We've got Zhao Guodong, who's going to be playing Mark Selby in the second round, and Marco Fu from Hong Kong is up against Neil Robertson in what is going to be a really special match, I fancy, from tomorrow.
That is definitely a cracker. We mentioned it, you know, the old cliche, fit to be a final. Well, that is an absolutely... Try and pick the winner in that one. Don't think Neil's been quite as good as he's been in the last couple of seasons, but there's a chance to put that right. And Marco's been very consistent, so that'll be a great match. There's plenty of them, and as you say, Mark Allen and John Higgins, second-round matches have been brilliant this year, so lots of good matches there.
Second-round matches are tough. And yeah, we're talking about yesterday about the fact that the draw seemed weaker in the bottom half. It's not really. Standard is going to go, going to be great for the rest of the tournament. You'll be unlucky to buy a ticket and watch a bad session, I feel, from now on in.
Now let's just talk about Ding Junhui and the pressure that suddenly is heaped upon him. He's last year's runner-up. He's the man that everybody thought was going to come through at least into the semi-finals to give whoever it is a run for their money and maybe in another final. But suddenly it's his friend, it's his colleague, it's a man with whom he socialises all the time who's dominating now.
He's got to find something from somewhere. He's got to go through the gearbox. I mean, he's just been a little bit lethargic with this afternoon. Nearly pinched a frame there. He could possibly have won. It's a huge frame that's happened there, but he's got to start playing. It's as simple as that. He's got to get back and score.
Ding's never won the World Championship, and perhaps his temperament is in question here. Yeah, perhaps he hasn't got the final piece of the jigsaw. These types of matches you've got to overcome.
OK, let's see what he's made of. This is the last frame before the mid-session interval.
And I'm sure Stephen will agree with me. I think it's a more important frame for Ding to win than it is Liang. I mean, if Ding goes 11-9 behind, I'm not too sure I can see him winning this game. Just hasn't played in this. Well, did really well last session to only lose it 5-3. And this afternoon session so far has not been at the races.
Yeah, it's here on the question of both players who wants it badly enough, or who wants it the most. There's only one player out there at the minute. Clever little shot there, didn't play the pot. Yeah, Ding to me does not look like he wants it badly enough. He had a yellow, and well, he had a couple of chances at the yellow, but the first chance he had of the yellow to its own pocket. You know, as a top player, you've got to recognise situations in matches where you really have to put everything into it and seize opportunities.
appear to be touching. Now, does he risk running off the 3 reds together? Does he risk running off the left-hand one of the 3 and trying to get the cue ball in the jaws of the green pocket? We'll just come around and have a look whether, if he gets in the jaws of the green pocket, whether the red will be easy or hard. Obviously, it's going to be a tough pot. But he must try and find the cushion. Obviously, feels that that's not beneficial, so we may have a re-rack here. Liang Wenbo looked at Ding there to suggest a re-rack. Ding just deffed him. Oh, they are going to have a re-rack. So after a couple of minutes play, they've decided it's a bit of a stalemate. So setting up for the next go at this frame. Stephen, you've obviously been in this situation where you've lost a couple of frames on the trot and that, but tell me what you're thinking about Ding's body language. What do you notice more than most?
He just doesn't look. You know, sometimes you can, you know, even when someone's in their chair, you can tell when they're focused. I mean, he could come out this frame and make a century, you know, but he just doesn't look. I don't know, angry enough. Maybe that's a way of describing it. He looks very, you know, he's looking around all over the place. His arms are behind his head. As you look at Liang Wenbo, he just looks more alert ever since they came into the arena. I agree with Steve. I think the one thing that's lacking in Ding Junhui in terms of winning the World Championship, I don't think he's strong enough mentally, or he hasn't been throughout the years. He's got every other aspect of the game, there's no doubt about it. So can he fight his way through this bad session?
So frame 20, take 2. Another thing about Ding, I mean, obviously he's one of the game's great players, and you know, he's definitely in my top 3 or 4 breakballers of all time. But some players never play great at the Crucible. I know he got to the final last year, but apart from that, every other year he's been struggling. And whether it's the mantle of being Chinese #1 and what it would mean to him to win the World Championship, whether that's playing an effect on him. But I honestly think he needs to win this frame.
If Ding Junhui does go on to lose this frame, be 11-9 down, at least he'll have the interval. He always goes to the practice table. Even if he won all 4 frames of 4-1, 4-7s, he'd be at the practice table. It's just something he does, so. And of course, then you'll have the pressure will switch onto Liang Wenbo. He'll be thinking about the winning line. So, long way to go in this match. A few twists and turns to come yet, I think.
Clearly caught that a lot thinner than he wanted. He was trying to get him behind the yellow. Just wonder whether Ding will play the aggressive safety shot here and open them up. He's had a bit of luck there. Okay, this red is possibly cuttable to the middle, but I'm not sure he can get his hand on the table. This would be very tricky getting his hand to even play this shot. Referee will be on his toes here. He's doing really well. Really well.
Massive visit to the table this for Ding Junhui. Well, unless that red passes a black.
7.
It's been a very poor shot. And it doesn't. Yeah, a lot of margin for error there. He's still taking this one on. It's going to be a bit of frustration playing this. Oh, well played. Well played.
8.
That was almost like, well, I'm out of position. I'm just going to go for this, whatever happens.
Yeah, playing a shot with disappointment sometimes can cost you, but boy, that was an
50.
excellent pot. And played it to perfection because he screwed into the red to hold for the black. Finished absolutely perfect. This is not one of those that's a 10 out of 10 pot. Brilliant. Deserves exactly what he gets from there now.
$16. 23. $24.
Well, he's pointing to the cue ball. He thinks he got a bad contact there. Let's see if the black leaves the table. Yeah.
Would you not just play one red onto another, the one that's in the board pocket, Steve, and just come out for the black?
Yep, good call.
The gap in between the two reds on the side cushion is quite a wide gap. But he's playing the one in the board pocket. These are always tough to get. I mean, the white could end up either near the blue spot or short of the baud line. See, they're not straightforward when they're over the pockets. That's a real
32.
mistake, that is.
I think that's probably a sign that how under pressure is. He's not even landed on the blue, so it's end of break.
Ding Junhui.
So a disappointing
32.
end to that visit for Ding Junhui. He scored 32. He's in control though. This is certainly not easy to get safe. He's really got to dig in now, Ding Junhui.
No problem hitting a red, of course, but that's not the key thing here. It doesn't want to leave a red on, so somehow he's got to find a red he can get to without leaving anything on. I suppose to the red to the left of the pink.
Long spot.
If he could somehow end up getting near that one, it'd be safe-ish. Well, I don't know what kind of length of cue he needs to play this long shot with the spider. I'd be amazed if he ends up playing it with the spider.
Yeah, this is almost one. If you could see a side cushion, it'd be just hit it as hard as you can and hope for the best. He's looking to see. Well, I don't know. I can only assume he's hoping to see if he can catch this red and near the right-hand side cushion thin for the cue ball to carry on down the table.
Enormous spider.
I can't see who can possibly hit a red and not leave one on here. So it'll be the result of all results.
Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui 4.
Now, obviously, Ding would love to play a pot here, but at first glance, it doesn't look to be anything that's easy, so I'd have them balls replaced. Liang saying thanks very much. Saying exactly where he wants to leave the cue ball, but I don't know why Ding's wanted to make it a Joe ball match. He's in trouble here. He needs to win this frame for me.
Maybe it's a good time to lighten the mood.
Cue ball is okay.
He's obviously not been feeling the best about his game so far today, about the match.
This way. Okay, Ding.
Well, it was worth the wait. To be honest, that was an excellent escape. Okay, first time he misjudged it, and Ding can consider himself a little lucky he didn't have some sort of pot on a red, but the second try, top draw. is there anything available in the left-hand middle? Cue ball not tight enough on the cushion. I suppose there's a slight chance of a plant, and the fact that he's 36 points behind may be worth the risk. Well, he feels the plant's too dangerous, but it looks like he can just play the plant and screw directly back, and the only red he can leave on is a simpler sort of shot into the middle. Looks like he's taking the long one on that's nearest the baulk line there, but missed it by a long way. Now how's his luck this time? Half chance. The fact that he's 36 points in front, he doesn't really want to play safe off the red next to the blue, wants to leave that there, but there's a bit of mileage in taking this pot on and just playing for the green. Caught the jaw, unfortunately, otherwise he'd have been perfect on the green. No. Decision time.
There's your wee one. Oh, this looks good. This looks good. Well, the shot.
It might be 37-0 down, but that shot might have just given Wembo the edge in this frame. Unless, well, Dean can get in between yellow and brown, and he should be able to just roll onto the left-hand side of the bunch. Normally his touch is excellent, these sort of shots.
For a moment I thought it hit that too thick and pushed the red on. This red is cuttable, but it'd need the spider, I would think. I don't know whether you can get through to it with the rest. Modern doesn't have any sort of pot on the colour, so it'll be yellow in behind the green again, I would think, unless he wants to take the yellow on. Sometimes he can be very aggressive, looking to go yellow in behind the green. If the blue wasn't where it was, I'd suggest taking the pot on. Wants to try and get the blue into play by the look of things.
Blue ball. Liang went ball 1. As quietly as possible, please. Thank you.
Happy with the result, but he didn't play that to be tight and behind the brown. Played to be behind the brown, but cue ball and baulk cushion.
Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui 4.
Well, once again, Ding's been a little unfortunate. Once he's hit the brown there, I mean, if it stayed short, he'd have had choice of 2 reds. I think where the white's finished, he might have to have it put back. Or does he fancy cutting this one in?
Back.
Yes, become very scrappy affair. I mean, there's a lot of pressure out there, but the last frame was well over half an hour. This frame already is approaching the 23-minute mark. I never thought we'd get frames this long between these two players. That just shows you what the pressure does. The last session of a match at the Crucible.
Yeah, the first 2 sessions, Stephen, which I've commentated on all the frames, the standard was absolutely out of this world, really. There was just one chance and somebody would score 60, 70 or 100. Obviously, as you rightly say now, this is the final session.
Well, we're coming to the end of our time here on BBC One. This match does continue on the red button, so do follow us there for the conclusion of it. Don't forget that we'll be back on BBC Two for the final session of John Higgins against Mark Allen. And at 10 to 5 this evening, it's the FA Cup semi-final, Chelsea against Tottenham. But do press red, where John, Steve and myself will see you again at the press of a button, a red one. Catch you again very soon. Bye-bye.
At Wembley for an FA Cup semi-final between the best 2 sides in the country. Chelsea, top of the Premier League, take on Spurs, the only side that can catch them. It should be an absolute belter. Alan Shearer, Frank Lampard and Jermaine Genius will enjoy it with us. See you here on BBC One at 10 to 5.